Fresh Israeli airstrikes are once again ripping through southern Syria, but behind the smoke and rubble lies something far deeper. A long-game plan which has been dubbed as the David's Corridor. Israel's offensive against Syrian military sites, civilian infrastructure, and notably druze regions in Sweda and Quneitra is reportedly a strategy for a larger foothold. But here's the twist. While bombs fall on Syrian land, Tel Aviv's tone conveys a sense of concern. A concern for its cultural ties and protection for the Druze minority. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz have both positioned Israel as a guardian of Druze identity, a community that historically straddles both sides of the Golan. But observers suggest something else. Many believe Israel's real aim is to use this moment to push forward a covert, long-term plan to establish a continuous zone of influence stretching from the Golan Heights to Kurdish-held northeast Syria. A corridor, a wedge, a silent redraw of borders. Israel has long planned to stretch a land corridor from the occupied Syrian Golan Heights through southern Syria to the Euphrates River. This hypothetical route would pass through the regions of Deraa, Suwaida, Al-Tanf, Deir Ezzor, and the Iraqi-Syrian border area of Abu Kamal, providing Israel with a strategic channel into the heart of West Asia. David's Corridor, the term once dismissed as speculation, is now taking shape on the battlefield. Analysts in Turkey, Syria, have believed for long that Israel is slowly carving out a strategic land bridge under the pretext of fighting terror and protecting minorities. And what's at stake? Southern Syria's key provinces, Quneitra, Deraa, Suwaida, where Israeli forces have not only launched strikes, but also set up military outposts. Israel had responded to the downfall of the Assad regime by dramatically escalating military aggression in Syria, by bombing hundreds of sites across the country, taking out many of the Syrian army's critical assets. Israel justified the assault by portraying the new Islamist-led administration as a government of terrorists. The attacks led to concerns that Israel will attempt a large-scale land grab in Syria to establish a greater Israel articulated by the father of Zionism, Theodor Herzl. His idea was for a Jewish state in the Middle East with biblical borders that would stretch from the Nile River to the Euphrates in Iraq. Netanyahu had earlier demanded a complete demilitarization of southern Syria, but many Syrians see it as a call for partition, and the Druze, they're caught in the middle. While some Druze leaders are lured by Israel's promises, others have protested. Fears are growing that Druze lands will become the launchpad for deeper Israeli control. The Suwaida region, still largely autonomous, since the civil war has erupted, driven anger and confusion, divided between those seeking protection and those resisting occupation. The central government hasn't exercised full control of the south of the country since the early days of the civil war, with the Druze minority governing autonomously in Suwaida province, while Deraa and the Damascus countryside are under the control of various rebel groups and warlords. Meanwhile, Israel's actions have sparked tensions with Turkey. President Tayyip Erdogan has warned Israel of any ambitions that stretch beyond moral interventions, as claimed by Netanyahu. Erdogan warned that Turkey would never allow the partition of Syria or the establishment of what he referred to as the Corridor of David. The outrage comes as David's corridor is said to link Israel to Kurdish-controlled territory in northern Syria. Turkish analysts and politicians have feared that Israel is colluding with Kurdish separatists in Syria to establish Israeli control over a vast swaths of territory between the occupied Golan Heights and the Euphrates area. So the question echoes from Damascus to Ankara, from Sueda to Tel Aviv. Is Israel aiming to stop terror or planning to carve out a silent pathway to Greater Israel? The David Corridor, as rooted in biblical claims, as Syria limps through conflict and fragmentation, Israel continues to spread its shadow further.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.